Hey, this is Terry R. Bean, and today we are going to be talking about Facebook ads and how we can get some cool people to do them for you on this episode of Business Growth Time. With me, as always, is the one, the only, the lovely, the talented, the Facebook advertising queen herself, Janet E. Johnson, where today the E stands for elementary, my dear Watson, because she's going to break down Facebook advertising.
All right, that was a good word. That was a good word. We need to bring in the elementary level. And that's what I always say to people that don't realize I have an elementary education. So that is my degree.
She got kicked. Oh, you have a degree in elementary education, because I thought you said you have an elementary education. This is why we get along so well.
Oh my. No, that's what I went to school for.
Oh, yes. That
So
makes
I
sense
am fairly good at breaking all of what I teach and train on to the elementary level because people need it. It's complicated.
Well, they tell you to write at the level of a fifth grader, right? There's a reason for
That's
that.
true.
And you can reach the majority of the audience. I get guilty of it every once in a while. I'll throw out some of those big fancy words, and then I'll forget to define them. And then I feel like I lost the audience. Or then it's even worse when you throw out big fancy words and you define them and nobody needed it defined. You can't win. So
it's true. That's true. Well, like Pixel.
Pixel.
We did your pick. We just went. Elementary went through Terry 5 minutes ago with Terry. We did the step by step exactly how to find where that pixel is. But the funny thing is, pixel has multiple meanings.
Ooh, it does. Give us some meanings. Hook us up.
Well, the pixelation, people think of pixel as like, there was a movie about a pixel. Wasn't that
Yeah, it was like a cartoony kind of thing about animation.
Yeah.
And so a pixel is a point, a color on your screen, right? So your television's measured by pixels, 1080 shows
true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's, if you have pixel eye, you can get right down to the granularness of each different photo or image or video. Yeah. And if I look pixelated, it's because there's not enough light coming in here.
Exactly. But that's a totally different meaning than the pixel we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facebook pixel is just a code that you need to put on your website. It's just it's actually an HTML code. We should just call it Facebook HTML code.
Yeah. Why does it say pixel? They could have named it anything they wanted, and they came up with
a whole show about this dang pixel thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm annoyed with the English language. Like, we don't have enough words that mean the same thing or are spelled the same way, right? Look at bow.
People make up words.
Or bow, right? And then think about a bow could be BOW, it could be BEAU, it could be BOW and pronounced bow as opposed to bow and mean something different, right? You could have a bow and arrow, you could have a bow on your boat, you could bow to somebody that you like seeing, you could have your bow on your arm, boyfriend.
You're bowing your hair.
Bowing your hair? Come on now. Why we got to have so many different things for bow?
Oh, I'm sure there's other words like that too. You know, it's just the English language. I don't know.
So, all right. Well, we can pick on Pixel on Facebook later.
Pixel, yeah, exactly. Facebook owns it, so I don't know what to say because they can do whatever they want at this point.
They get to do whatever they want to. That's awesome. So let's talk about what we're actually going to talk about instead of making fun of the language. Let's talk about Facebook advertising, why it's such a pain in the butt, all the steps that need to go through it, and how some super cool person might be able to help.
Yeah. Well, and the bottom line is, if you get it right, it works.
Is that true?
There is. Absolutely. You want to hear all my stats? Yeah.
We did actually have done that program, so that is true. I've got lots of proof of Facebook advertising not working, but I have zero proof of it ever.
Well, that's what a lot, and let's start with that, because I talked to a lot of clients, a lot of potential clients, a lot of people speaking, whatever, and I could say I had a whole entire room where I was speaking about Facebook ads. And not one person could say they could correlate a sale to Facebook. Not one person.
Yeah, I could find a room full of people like that too, I bet.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. But the bottom line is A, strategy, and B, it is a pay-to-play world, and 90+% of those people probably had barely spent any money on Facebook ads.
Well, I just showed you my big spend. Right?
Yeah, exactly. The $10 in 60 days or whatever. I mean, you've got.
It was 9 and 20. Come on now. I was shooting money all over the place. I'm making it rain up in Facebook land. Maybe not. I can't help it. They wouldn't.
Serious money than that, yeah.
They wouldn't take my money. I would have given them more, but they didn't want it. They actually didn't approve one video, and I didn't do anything wrong. I had a shirt on and everything.
Oh, there was something, I'm sure. I don't know what. Sometimes you don't know what it is, but there's usually a reason.
Janet's like, I've met you. Trust me, there was something wrong.
That's funny. That's funny. But I mean, backing that up, brand awareness and that kind of thing, that's real easy. That's, we could put a video up, get a whole bunch of views to it, blah, 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 and that's great. That's what I call my top of funnel. We do the top of funnel is the brand awareness piece and just but that's what I think a lot of businesses focus on is they just throw things out there, throw some money behind it, boost it, think it's their audience, and then they hope to make sales. And they don't have a real true conversion strategy in place. And so that's what we do help clients with is like figuring out, okay, where do you want to go? Okay, maybe those top of funnels, those are great. I still suggest to do that all the time. I do it all the time myself. Create the videos, create the brand awareness, but then we do the video viewer audiences and get in front of those because you can create video viewer audiences of people that have watched a certain amount of time on your video and you've already warmed them up on the front end. And then you do the conversion piece on the back end, but you can do conversion to cold. It's just can be a little bit harder. Cold meaning total strangers.
They don't know you, right? And
Yeah.
I watched a video the other day and a coach was doing this 10 tips in 10 days, which is a thing on LinkedIn now. And her tip was, you got to warm up the audience, right? She said, no one ever hires a stranger to coach them.
Yes,
I was like, bam, that is an excellent point. And I loved it because she's so bang on with that.
Video is the best way no matter if you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, and we're going to do a whole video of things so at some point here on the difference between those two. But bottom line is, yeah, exactly. And then I'm using YouTube too, but the video is the best way to really warm people up. Unless you're speaking at an event or you know what I mean, or networking or something like that. But other than that, online in social media, by far, that's the best way to do it.
I think that's good. And I think that's really, really important. And I keep forgetting about YouTube, which is crazy because, oh my God, if there ever was a bigger place for video than YouTube, I don't know where it would be. But yeah, I don't even use it as much. Do you still use it as much? You said you were spending a little bit of money on that on a regular basis now.
Yeah. I one of my favorite ads, and I actually have this in my trainings, is one of the video ads for YouTube, and it's basically through Google AdWords. By the way, I got an alert this morning. They're changing the name to Google Ads. It's not going to be AdWords anymore. It's going to be Google Ads. Does that make a little more sense than AdWords? Where did that ever come from anyway? But bottom line is, yes, YouTube ads can work, and they're very cost effective too. Number 2 place that I suggest other than Facebook. For video ads, that is. But yeah, YouTube, we have every one of our podcasts on YouTube, don't forget.
We do, and people should find them. Then people should go check them out. We have Business Growth Time on YouTube. It's an entire channel.
Yep. So if people would rather watch than listen, that makes sense.
All right.
Bottom line is, Facebook ads, there's certain ways you want to do things. Correct. And there's a lot of pieces. And so what we're going to do is just take and break down a few of those pieces. So going into, what do you think are some of the parts of a Facebook ad? What would be, we just talked about video. So what is?
Well, yeah, whatever the content is, whoever the audience is, you got to select that. You got to figure out what you want as a goal because they give you options, right?
Yep.
You want to build an audience? Do you want people to like your page? Do you want people to call you, right? And there's probably a lot more. Now, before we get much farther into this, I want to make sure that people know that one of the things that we're going to talk about is you have an offer to actually manage this for them. Right. So we're going to give you a bunch of tips on how to do it. But if you've got other things to do, like, run your business, you can hire Janet to do this for you. And she's got a couple of different options, but we'll get into that much later. So.
Yep. Yes. Thank you. Bottom line is, yes, one of my new programs will help in all of this setup. But then we coach and let you go. Unless you want to work continuously ongoing, which ends up happening quite often because
not all the little birdies can fly.
Yeah, they're not uncomplicated. That's the bottom line. So yes, you want to start out with the image or a video. Bottom line, it's an image or a video.
And that's it. Yeah, because text doesn't convert, and we know that, right?
Well, no, that's copy. So there's different. That is one area.
It's an element, I guess.
Yep. So you're looking at the creative is what we call it in our world. Creative is the image or the copy, the image or the video. And it could be, we test tons of different images and we always test, I always test video and images. It's not just one. I do both. I've had every single time I've had conversion work differently. So there's no real answer to that. And then the other area is, yes.
Isn't that wild? It just does it there, and you can't probably even understand what the pattern or rhyme or reason is. It's just because you've done this 100 times now.
Yeah. No, everybody. I mean, and I'm part of a lot of coaching groups and masterminds and that kind of thing. And no, everybody says you just no matter what have to test. Well, we don't know even in a graphic is a beautiful image of scenery going to convert, or is a beautiful image of a person going to convert, or a beautiful image of Terry going to convert? What is going to convert? And we don't know unless we test, and we can't count Terry out until we've tested that.
Right. We should probably assume Terry's not going to convert, but let's just put him in there on the off chance he does. You just really
never
don't
know,
Janet.
And it could be this video, video A, video B. Is it a square video? Is it a normal video? Is it a tall video? Now that's the new thing, the up and down vertical video. I mean, there's so many.
Wait, back up, because does that mean people can go back to filming like this as opposed to like this?
Yes, Instagram stories has changed the world. We could do a whole call about that.
All right. Well, then we won't talk about it anymore. And that annoys me. I don't.
And IGTV and well, you've got to think about it. If they're on mobile, they don't have the two bars on the side, and it takes up way more of the feed. So you're hogging the feed more, which in turn helps you stay in front of your audience longer with the vertical video. So yeah. But the only thing is vertical video doesn't convert too great to LinkedIn and other places. So there's the downfall to that. So that's the creative. That needs to be tested. First, you need to figure out how to use it, and then you need to test it and figure out which works best. And I think everybody could come up with concepts on how, let's test 10 different graphics, or I usually do 6. That's kind of my magic number, 6 between the graphics and the videos. And usually just one video and then different graphics. Then the copy. Some people don't know how to write the wording. And if you're a coach, if you're a service-based business, you need long copy. Short copy works with e-commerce. So just like one line. But otherwise, you need really long copy. And if you don't know how to write that and really grab people's attention and sell yourself, or you're basically solving a problem. That's the goal with the copy, is what is the problem? How can I solve it? And then, but it needs to be long. So you need to write like a story, your backstory, and it's not the easiest thing. And if you crunch it all together, I don't know if you've seen any of my copies, but they're long, they're bullet pointed with some emojis. I mean, it's you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, they really are. And it's a really good point that it is storytelling. And honestly, compared to some of the things that I've seen and read, especially those things that hit my email, your copy's short. And it's probably, you're probably writing 300-400 words, right? At least.
Yeah.
And so it's wild to me. And it's basically walking people through a sales process. It's make a statement, explain the benefit of it, handle the objection that they're going to have, make another statement. And there's talk about a whole nother show.
Yeah. Copy. Yeah. And if you don't study copy, that's something that I've studied over the years, just on how to write the emails, how to write the Facebook ads, how to write all those things. If you don't know how to write the copy, then you probably won't convert. So that's another area. There's the post text, there's a headline, and then the link of where you want to direct them to. Or there's lead ads. With clients, I do a lot of lead ads where they can just put their name and email and information, phone number right inside Facebook. So they don't have to be taken to a landing page. There's different options there. So those are kind of the breakdown of the ad. But now the ad set level, you mentioned some things. So the ad set level is where campaign level is what's your goal? Do you want video views? Do you want links, clicks to the website? Do you want conversion campaigns? That's where you pick your goal. Then you move to the ad set level. And the ad set level is where placement is. And placement can make or break an ad too. Do you want it on Facebook? Do you want it on Instagram? Do you want it in an Instagram story only? Do you want it in the marketplace? Maybe you want it inside of Messenger. There's all these different places that you can put an ad. And until, once again, you've tested it and know how to read those results, that you might be paying. A lot of times Terry, I don't know if you know this, but when you hit the boost button, it goes everywhere. Your ads go to the right-hand side. They go to Facebook. They go to Instagram. They go inside Messenger. It depends on the type of ad though. They go into Marketplace. They go on the third-party networks. They go everywhere, and you don't have the control over where they are unless you go in and edit that stuff.
That's interesting. So you could be spending money that you didn't anticipate spending, because even though you selected your audience, they're just going, here, we're going to spend your dough for you. And that's really interesting. No, I don't think I knew that from a Boost.
The biggest problem with Boost is that you don't have the control over where exactly it's going. And it goes automatically to desktop and mobile. Well, 90% of the time, mobile's way more cost effective and converts much better. Now, do I test it still? Absolutely. But usually we'll start with an ad and turn it off pretty quickly on desktop. It works. And then on top of it, if you're doing a vertical video, let's say, you only want that on mobile. Don't put it on desktop because it doesn't make sense. So that's some of the things that I think people just don't realize. They think, oh, I've tried ads, I've hit the boost button. Well, that is the lowest level of ads you could possibly do.
Ads 101, right?
Fine for brand awareness. I mean, it's okay, but because you're showing up, but if you really want to convert and really save money and have the numbers, then you want to get the placements right. So that's another area.
So when you test something, when you say, we let it run and then we turn it off, how much data do you pull in before making a decision as to whether or not it worked?
The magic number is 2,000 to 5,000 impressions.
2,000 to 5,000. I'm not sure I have that in all of my Facebooking.
Yeah, you do spend some money.
Yeah,
you do. Yep. It's not a $5 deal. Mm-mm.
I get that on LinkedIn for free. Oh, sorry.
Yes, you do. That's true. Their world's going to change someday.
Their world's going to change. They announced just a couple of weeks ago that they are allowing video advertising. So you can imagine as that continues to grow, it's going to be every bit as pay to play.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Move
And
fast.
I'm excited
Take
for that
advantage.
too. Yeah. Anything with video and you can put money behind it, that's a beautiful thing.
Especially when you can target and hit your ideal audience right where they live, right? Video is so powerful. We've talked about it 9 times on this show, at least, right? Because it allows for that authenticity, it allows for you to be in real time, it allows for people to get a feel for who you are, what you're about, and what you can do for them, and whether or not they may like you.
The like and trust factor. Yep. Yep. So
Can't.
video anywhere. And that's why we want to test the video. I worked with a coach recently where we set up her Facebook ads. So I did the setup done for you, plus I coached her. So she's a coach, but I coach her on the ads. And her video ad, like I said, we did the magic 6. And we had 5 graphics and a video, and the video ad by far had better click-through rates, better conversion, just by far. So we just turned everything else off, and then we continued on with the video. The area, so those are the areas that there's more to the ad set level. I mean, that's where you put your money, and there's more things in the ad set level. But placement's a biggie. Placement's a very big, very, very big one. And that's where you put your targeting too. So you can put your, basically who that audience is, or if you want to retarget your video viewers or whatever that is, that's in the ad set level. And then the ad level we already talked about, that's where you create your creative and your copy and you put that in there. So that's the anatomy of an ad. I mean, that's the breakdown of it. But let's get into why I did the course the program that I'm doing, because I do want to talk about that just because I have done a lot of things with Facebook ads. Full management, obviously, for a long time for clients. But what is the cost of that? More costly than what most small businesses can afford, correct?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because they still have to pay for the ads on top of it.
Exactly. Well, there's the ads and the management fees, so it does add up. Then there's the second. I did a 2-day workshop where I trained people for 2 full days, and we had a group of 5 of us. They were handheld taught every little layer that I just talked about, and audiences and everything. And then they created their ads there. But guess what? 2 people ended up hiring me after the fact of that training. Then I moved it to VIP day through Zoom, and we tried that too. That didn't work. Well, it did work. It worked great. But at the end, I could see the glaze over on their eyes. I mean, it was just too much information. And one of the gals ended up hiring me also to set up her ads for her. So then I just kind of started thinking about, and then I have do-it-yourself training. So I do have trainings in my Social Strategies 101. If somebody just wants to go learn it and watch the video tutorials and apply what they learned, they definitely could do that too. But the bottom line is, I think the area that I found needed the most is people just still didn't know what to do for the content. They didn't know what goal to have. They didn't know what would work, what wouldn't work. And then the bottom line is, after the fact, knowing how it's working. How are you reading this? Do you have any clue what you're looking at?
We just looked at the graphs and the pixel page for me and all the views, and you didn't even bother breaking it down because you were like, you probably don't care at all. But it was interesting because each one of those things means something different and it relates to performance, and it's a great way to gauge how you're going to be effective either now or moving forward. And yeah, there's a ton of it. And if you don't know how to read it, it's all just might as well be Martian.
You're right. Yeah.
Correct? Can we say Martian? Is that
Martian? It's fine.
Okay. No. Don't want to make fun
bottom
of
line is the thing is the creative part. You need 2 hats in Facebook ads. One is creative. You need to be a creative person, and the other, we call it like artist and scientist.
Nice. Yeah. That makes sense.
There is a science side to it, and that's where it comes into knowing how to read those numbers. Like, how much should you be paying for a conversion? How much should you be paying for a video view? How much should you be paying for true lead ad conversion? It depends on your business. There's a lot of variables and what to look for. What's a great click-through rate? What's a great impression payment? There's so many different variables, and that's what we walk through, all those things, so that you understand, okay, this is why my ad is working, this is why it isn't. And sometimes the ad can work great, but then we take them to a landing page and the landing page sucks.
Well, you talk about all kinds of really interesting stuff right there. You know, we bottled it up under the customer cost of or the cost of customer acquisition, right? Is such an important thing. And if it's low volume and low price, right, it'd certainly better be super low cost, and that's hard to find. But if you've got either high volume, right, lots of customers paying a little bit, or a few customers paying a heck of a lot, you can kind of hit that sweet spot.
Yeah, let's use an example. So this coaching client that I just recently worked with, she has a $3,000 product. So her goal is to get them on a phone call, a discovery call, to set up, that time with her to go through. She'll teach them some things, but then her goal is to sell the $3,000 program. Here's the thing. Would you be willing to pay $1,000 in order to make $3,000?
Right? I mean, yeah, if you got the $1,000 and you knew you were going to make $3,000, you have an unlimited supply of $1,000 bills at that point.
Exactly. But the key thing is that I set the expectations for people that I work with, that you will have to test in the beginning. And until you figure it out, you might not be making your money back. It's the bottom line. But once you hit it and you get that testing working, one of the mortgage clients I worked with, he went from $100 down to $50, down to $15 to $20 per lead, because we scaled it. We figured it out. We figured out what worked. And within 3 weeks, he had one sale. So, and I don't know, after that, he's still running those ads, but he went on his own. He ended up on his own. But the bottom line is, in the beginning, you might pay more because we have to go through that testing phase.
Let's get him or her, the mortgage person, to write a little testimonial, and we can put it in the show.
Kevin's on all my stuff. He's on all my stuff, yeah.
So you should make sure, Joanne, put that in the show notes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Kevin's a good guy. Yeah, he's in my Kevin Murray. We went to high school.
I was going to say Kevin Murray. I know Kevin.
We went to high school with him. Yes, we did. Yes. So he has written a testimonial for me, and I use him. He's on all the landing sales pages that I have too. And we will put, if you're interested in setting up a discovery call with me to just talk further about this, I'll put the link in. It's just meetme.so/Janity Johnson. If you want to set up a call, feel free to just send it my way, and then we will see if we're a fit. I mean, some people just want to do it for themselves, and some people aren't ready to spend the money. That's fine. It will take an investment. But you know what I look at? It's an investment. It is not just throwing away money. You're not gambling. It's an investment in getting leads and sales for your business that can grow and grow and grow. And what we do is we set up a long-term ad, and it's one that you can turn on and off as you need to. So sometimes you get too many leads, and then you have to turn that ad off. And it's a great thing to happen, but it's something that long-term should last. We never promise anything. The goal is that it will last, but the bottom line is Facebook could make a change tomorrow on their algorithms, and we don't know. But the bottom line is we set it up to last, and then you'll need to revisit. So that's kind of the deal that I have. Bottom line is it's a setup plus coaching. So we set it up for you plus the coaching. I've done it where I've just coached. People still don't have the right pieces in place. So it's all done properly. Your audiences are done properly so that you have the foundation in place so that you can really grow your business with the Facebook ads. If that's an area right now, at this point, it is the most cost-effective way to market your business unless like Terry said, organically. Yeah, we can put a whole bunch of posts on Instagram, on LinkedIn, that kind of thing. Organic can still happen there. But if you are looking for PPC, by far, it's still much more cost effective than Google. But the prices will be going up soon. We have no doubt about that. And they've creeped a little bit at this point too. Yeah. So let me just run through this and then we will finish up. So basically I have a whole sheet I would send you if you meet with me. It's called Facebook Ad Setup, Done For You, plus Coaching Funnel. And the bottom line is I will fully set it up for you. And we have a 5-week and a 9-week program. So it's either 5 weeks or 9 weeks. And then you can choose if you want some ongoing coaching or more deeper help after that's done. But the nice thing is it's not a 6-month, a year contract commitment or anything like that. It's just a one-time fee. We have two levels of payments. I have a $997 level and then a higher level. And I wanted to make it under that $1,000 mark to make it affordable for the average client. Now you do need to have money for Facebook ads. And I suggest, minimally around that 1,000 mark if you can for just even the testing. You'll get leads hopefully, but that's kind of what I suggest. So that's pretty much it. And it is going very well right now. I could go off on a few different stories, but Wendy, who I worked with, she had 3 big coaching sales within 3 weeks. First week, the coach had 3 decent leads. Do I know if she made the sales? No. My goal is leads, and then you need to do the sales. I'm not the salesperson. But bottom line is it has been working time and time again, but you've got to take that investment to test it out.
That makes perfect sense, right? Because there's a lot of variables, and if you don't know which one's going to hit and reach your ideal audience, it's cool that you do the testing, because I think that's the most important part. So often we'll throw something out there and it'll work and we'll be surprised, and then we'll throw something else out and it won't work and we'll be surprised, and then we'll do the first thing we did and it doesn't work and we're still surprised, right? So there's
because you don't know what worked the first time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So the systematic approach to, hey, this is what we're going to do, and having it all laid out and being patient and methodical about it. I mean, that really is the science of marketing, like you just mentioned. So I think that's great that you're doing that for folks.
The science of marketing. I like that. Well, there you go. There's the title of our.
It's about time.
Awesome. So anyway, if you are not following us in a group we have, it's called businessgrowthtime.xyz. And then if you got some sort of value out of this, we really would love you to leave us a review. What did I just say? Love it if you would leave us a review.
You're a mess.
I know. I've been talking.
Are you tired from talking? Yeah, that's.
Carrie, why don't you tell them?
Janet carried the whole show today. Listen, I was just here to be the pretty face, clearly. So
we haven't tested that yet, though.
We have not tested. We already have an assumption, so it may not be true. businessgrowthtime.xyz is our Facebook group where you can join us, have some conversation, meet other members of the Ernie audience, and just kind of hang out, ask questions, share good stories. On the flip side, businessgrowthtime.com is where you'll find the 110 plus past episodes that we've recorded on this show. Lots of great guests, lovely content, information that is going to help you grow your business. If you like the show, this one or others, we would like that review, whether you put it over on the iTunes or the Stitchers or the SoundClouds or wherever you have
iTunes,
you Apple slappies. Put it out there. But we appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Yes,
if you're interested in Facebook ads, hook a girl up, man. She knows her stuff really, really well. And that's it. Till next time, we'll see you real soon.
Thank you.